Hey everyone, Mr. Mick here obviously. It is Monday. Good news, I got my email up and running again, so I'm back in, which is reassuring. You know, it's maybe not as big of a deal. Always is an issue when your email's down, but probably not as big a deal if you're a teacher in an actual classroom, in an actual school, right? In a physical school. But for me, the only way I can contact my students is through email, right? So having it down is, not frustrating, and I'm not mad at anybody about it, but just I'm glad it's back, that's all. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about poetry for a second. I kind of was hoping, I'm hoping that I can just kind of frame it for you a bit, or talk to you about it a bit, and see if this might help. I know that poetry has a reputation for kind of, you either get it or you don't, right? You either you love it or you hate it, and you're either a flaky artist who loves that kind of stuff, or you're practical Mr. Science or Ms. Science or whatever. And I just don't think that's the case, right? I want to suggest, I want you to think about the fact that anybody can get poetry, right? It's just a matter of practice, and that's what we've learned just yesterday when I put it up or whatever about neuroplasticity, that other lesson plan, that you never stop learning, right? That the moment you do something, every time you do it, your brain actually gets a little bit stronger in that area and actually gets better at doing that thing. And so everything in life takes practice. I mean, why would you expect, if you've never studied poetry before, or you've barely done any poetry, why would you expect to be good at it right away and then be disappointed or turned off or intimidated by it when you're not good at it right away? You need to really, poetry's all mental. You need to, don't see it as something you don't know about, right? It's okay not to know things. Ignorance is an opportunity to learn. Every time you learn, you're confronting your own ignorance, and so you can't be afraid of that. You can't be afraid of things you don't know. Ignorance is an opportunity to learn, not personal failure. This does not speak ill of you. The fact that you're learning, the fact that you're confronting things you don't know, says that you are somebody who's willing to do that sort of thing, which is really important in life. People that are afraid of learning, people that are afraid of failure because they don't know how to do something, they're going to struggle with life. And so this is a lesson in general, right? That just because you don't know how to do something doesn't make you bad at it. It just means you need to do it a little bit more and practice a little more. And I think poetry is a great example. Yeah, that the whole point, and as I kind of said, like, think of it as a puzzle. You don't just sit down and do a jigsaw puzzle, bang, one go. It takes time. You have to do it over and over again. And you make mistakes, you take parts out, put parts back in, and you make all these mistakes, and finally at the end, you have yourself a completed puzzle. This is just like what poetry is. Poetry isn't meant to be easy. Poetry, that's the whole point of poetry, is that it's this tough little rock that it wants you to hit at it and knock it about and crack it open for that diamond of an idea that's inside it. It's the whole point of poetry. Someone actually explained to me, and I kind of liked this once. Has anybody played pool before? Like cue balls and cues and shooting around a board or whatever, billiards. Other kinds of writing is like shooting the cue ball in a straight line, right? Poetry is like shooting the ball on a curve, and I'll just like this, right? If you're trying to hit a specific ball in pool, and there's another ball in your way, you put spin on the ball, it's called English, or curve. You curve the ball around the ball that's in your way to get to your destination, to get to your desired ball. And that's what poetry does. Poetry bends language to get at truths and get at ideas that writing in a straight line can't get at. So that's the power of poetry. Poetry, it's a different way of thinking about the world. And the more ways that you think about the world, or the more ways that you try to think about the world, the stronger a thinker you'll be, and the better you'll be at other things in your life too. So to summarize, don't be intimidated by poetry. It's okay to not get it. That's the whole point. Read it more than once. Read it again and again. Don't be intimidated. Try to get excited. This is a new thing to learn, right? Remember, think of how excited you are when you learn something about a passion or a hobby of yours, right? And just the more you do it, the better you get, and it changes the way you think. It changes the way you view the world. And I think that's, as I've talked about in previous videos, that's the whole power and potential of English language arts. Is it changes who you are, and it changes how you interact with the world around you. So poetry, just try it out. Don't be discouraged. Don't get upset. if you do, just frame it as it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to not get it the first time. Just keep trying. Trust me, it'll get better. And the better you get, the more you'll enjoy it. Anyway, good luck. I'll talk to you later.